This is the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast, and I'm your host, Trudy Simmons from the Daisy Chain Group, providing platforms for women entrepreneurs to be seen and heard. This platform is for women entrepreneurs that want to hear the real stories of what it takes to be yourself and run a business with all the different hats that you might have to wear. These are the stories of the tenacious, the rebellious, and the resilient women that are working towards the future that they want to build for themselves and their families. Hello and welcome to the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast. Today I am with Dawn Gatward from Dawn Gatward Soul Coaching. And Dawn, I cannot wait to get into this chapter with you. Please tell us about your business.
Well, in a nutshell, I help female entrepreneurs sort of like come back to themselves and rediscover sort of like their passions and their purpose so they can get aligned with their business and make sure they're doing the thing that they love.
I love it all. What really surprised me, I guess, is that you didn't think that you were good enough to have a business. How did you change that?
I think through a lot of personal development work, it's key, really working through sort of like my mindset blocks and making sure I'm not listening, to other people, because everyone's got an opinion, haven't they? Sometimes not so great, sometimes encouraging, but sometimes it can be discouraging. So it's learning to come back to myself and like empowering myself to follow my own calling rather than like, doing what other people tell me to do.
Because Dawn, I remember the reason that I know you is that you had a cafe and I used to come and run networking events there.
Yeah.
And I remember probably the first 5 or 6 times that I did that, I would say, Dawn, do you want to introduce your business? And you would talk about the cafe and that you do cakes. And I remember you saying to me privately, I'm really woo-woo, so I don't want to put people off in talking about that. I don't have a business doing that yet. So I think that not feeling good enough in your business must have really taken a while for you to be able to come through all of that angst of it and be able to talk about this massive purpose that you've got.
Yeah, and that wasn't so long ago. It was only a few years. It's like reflecting back, it's like, wow, I have come a long way. That's all. Yeah, definitely. It was just owning it. I think in business, especially, we've all got little quirks and things. And rather than just try and, do the same as everyone else, is owning those weird qualities we have and just like really claiming it because, there's always someone out there for you.
Your whole person, I mean, I could talk to you for hours, but your whole personality came out when you were able to talk about this. And what I also loved reading in your chapter is that you weren't doing what you wanted and you were living for others.
Mm-hmm.
What made you reassess all of that?
I think it was a few years into the business after we'd moved with with my first daughter. I think I miscarried. And I think from then it was very subtle. I mean, obviously it was, a horrible situation to go through, but then it was like a slow realization that like, what am I doing? I wasn't able to take the time off for myself and it felt like I couldn't grieve for myself. And, I was expected to just jump back in and carry on, being happy, smiley to the customers. And I didn't want to do that. And just missing out because I was working in the business and my partner then was the one at home with the kids. And I was just like, I kept hearing all these things about what they were up to. And I'm like, I'm missing out on that. I don't want to be doing this. What do I want to be doing?
Crikey. So is that the thing that then changed on the 31st December 2016? What happened on that date?
Oh, that year was a messy year. It was a messy year. They say there's those moments that define you and you just really got hit rock bottom. I mean, I'd split up with my partner then. I'd had 3 kids by then, and I think recently, the month before, I'd had my second miscarriage. And I was drinking really heavily. And I think that moment hit me like I wasn't even aware. And so I started blaming myself, like I'm drinking, did I cause this? And it's New Year's Eve, everyone goes out with their friends partying. I didn't have any friends. I was literally alone. And I think it was that moment of just, I really just surrendered and gave up. I was like on my knees, like someone help me. And, it did, which is good.
What happened? What did you do? Did you wait for 1st of January and change everything? What did you...
I had a couple of bottles of Prosecco. I was drinking out of the bottle, classy. Waiting up to watch the fireworks on the TV because I thought at least I need to see the new year in. I mean, I'm really lonely, but at least I can share in everyone else's joy. And I got a piece of paper. I don't even know what done it. It was like I went on autopilot and I wrote on this piece of paper, universe, please help me. I just want to be happy. And I lit a candle and I like burnt this piece of paper and it was like, I'm so drunk, I'm doing something really weird. It's like candle magic, looking back, it was candle magic.
If I can just say here, please note, people listening, do not drink 2 bottles of Prosecco and then play with fire.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
But there is an outcome. So.
There is an outcome. Yeah, for me, it might not be the same for everyone else. So yeah, be sensible with fire.
So how far from that day to you feeling like this, but having this business? Was it a couple of years? Yeah.
Well, the New Year's Day, the next day, I think I started to feel, it was within the week, I was really ill and I was forced to like leave the shop, and I was like bedridden for like 6 weeks because I was that ill. It was by March, April, I was doing tarot readings online. I didn't waste any time. I just dived into it, and I was doing anything and everything that I loved. And I was like finding new things, and I'm going to do this now. And just, playing around and experimenting with the things that I found fascinating. And I just fell into different areas. And now I've brought it all together into something that makes sense to me.
And what is that?
It's working with, I still work with the cards. I work with astrology. I work with, the moon cycles. And I take women through like this sort of journey of self-discovery so they can tap back into themselves and their souls and work out what it is they want to do and how they want to bring their magic to the world.
I have to tell you this, and I'm sure that I've told you this before, but when you first changed over, I was so happy to see you out in the world and doing what you loved. And you were offering, I think it was a 12-month reading at that point. So I did that with you. And on some weird month, it was like an April or May, it said, and an owl, and so it was something to do with an owl will be able to give you the stability that you need to create this next step in your business. And I'm reading that thinking, as we all do, yeah, okay, an owl, really. And then I moved into Owl Cottage, and it was such a healing environment that I needed at that time, and gave me the ability to get outside, which I hadn't had before. And it just be able, and I didn't realize, obviously, for months afterwards, and I was reading back over what you'd put, I went, oh my goodness, like how your talent is. I love the way that you do things, but that was an absolute pivotal thing in me, and going, I'm in the right environment for this and I'm loving it.
Sometimes I don't even know what I'm talking. I just give the information and, hope it makes sense at some point, just give what I get. And yeah, I'm so glad it actually did make sense.
If there was one lesson that you would want every entrepreneur to know, what would it be?
Oh, listen and trust your intuition. We always know the answers. We just overthink it all the time and get in our own way. Just trust, especially the really weird and random ones that make no sense. They're the best ones. Yeah. They are the best ones.
Yeah. Well, that's how I came up with this book. It's random, but anyway. What is your favorite business book?
Maybe not business, but I think it does apply. Feel the fear and do it anyway. It's a classic. It really is a classic. And it just, for me, it just brought a different perspective to fear. Like, we can never get rid of it. There's always going to be something we're scared of. And it's just to like face it head on. Everyone's scared of their shadow side. But if we just embraced it, life would be so much more adventurous.
Yeah. Work with it, not against it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who wrote that book?
Susan Jeffers.
Ooh.
Yes.
Brilliant.
She's got a series of them as well, so
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Feel the Fear and no, has she got a series of them?
I'm gonna go.
I might, Google it. Sometimes when you like, maybe that was a download that she's going to be writing a series, so it came out.
I didn't know there was a book called that, but obviously we all talk about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So
yeah, it's a fabulous book.
And honestly, all of these books are so important for us to be the whole of ourselves in business. So yeah, I'm going to go and find that one. I love it. Dawn, what an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for what you do in the world and how you have found your voice. I think you've really done that in the last few years. And thank you. I'm sure there's more to come as well. Like the voice is getting louder. Ooh. I know. Dawn, thank you for being a part of Shiny Crazy Daisy book and podcast. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast. If you've liked what you've seen today, then please make sure that you click the subscribe button to this channel to see more inspiration and motivation as more of these stories keep coming out. And if you want even more, click on the link below this video and go and have a look at the series of books Shine On You Crazy Daisy and get even more inspiration and motivation for you and your business.